Hi everyone, Eve Harow, Rejuvenation on the Land of Israel Network. Late in the day already, Monday, July 8th, 2024, moving of course into the third day of Tammuz, 5784. It's only Monday, but I've already had an interesting week. Spent yesterday down by the Otef, by Western Negev, with Bernie Moreno, who's running for Senate in Ohio. Very, very lovely, interesting couple. Love Israel. They get it. For the whole story on that, I actually suggest that you listen to Josh Haston's podcast, which I taped with him last night, and I spoke about it there. Because on my show today, I have my own guest. I'm not my guest on my show. And excited to have her on. She's worried about her English, but I'm not. Mrs. Tzili Schneider, who started an organization called Kesher Yehudi, and we're going to be hearing about that right now. So, Tzili, thank you so much for joining me on Rejuvenation here.
Okay, nice to hear. Nice to be here.
So first of all, maybe tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go into the organization that you started. What is your background?
Okay, so if you want me to tell about myself, I want to start with my English. I am not English speaking. I can't speak English well, and you have to believe me that I'm not so stupid like I sound in English. But this is it. I have to do it in English, so I try because I want the English people will hear this voice. So I do what I really cannot.
So Tzili, you should know, Tzili, my listeners know that I live in Israel and that I'm surrounded by Hebrew speakers, of which I'm very proud. And many of my guests, English is not their first language, and that's totally fine. That's what happens when you are blessed with speaking the holy language, and that's your first language. So please don't apologize, and let's hear about your background.
Okay. So I grew up in Mea Shearim, in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. Very frum, Haredi, Hasidish family. My father was the first hand of Baal HaNetivot Shalom, Arav Shalom Noach Barazovsky. He was my Rebbe. And my neighbor, my big neighbor, was Arav Eliashiv Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Livracha. And I grew up in this neighborhood. I was filled myself very, very close to these two big Rabbonim. And I think that I took all my neighborhood, took a lot from the big people they used to live in my neighborhood. We was not a part of Mea Shearim people because we was Hasidei Slonim in my parents' home, but we used to live there because Slonim was very close to Mea Shearim. But what I remember from my Yaldut,
childhood. Your childhood in Mea Shearim, let me just tell my listeners, Mea Shearim is a very Orthodox neighborhood. It's one of the older neighborhoods of modern Jerusalem, very Orthodox neighborhood. And Tzili grew up really with great rabbis from different sects of Chassidut, of, that kind of Judaism. She herself in a family that is affiliated with Slonim. That's one of the sects of Orthodox Judaism. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Mea Shearim is more people like Satmar Chassidim, very extreme. Okay, but what I remember from my childhood is the feeling, the unity, the atmosphere. We really felt like brothers and sisters with all around. Like in my parents' house, my mother didn't let us to say Haredi, Chiloni, that to me,
secular, religious. She didn't let you use the terminology that would label people. She was very good about that.
She said there is only two kinds of people, a Jew or Ben Noach, non-Jew. That's it. And if you are a Jew, it doesn't make a difference. And if you are a Jew, it doesn't make a difference on which part you belong, because you are a Jew. It's much more than all the specific part or group that you can belong to them. Okay, so this was my chinuch education that my mother gave very, very strongly, very strong. And if I remember myself that once I said, "Oh, mommy, he is not from," so my mother gave me, my mother gave me a punishment because she said he is a Jew. We
Good.
don't know who is religious and who is not. We know who is a Jew and who is not, and that's it. It was very, very, and I remember the 6 Days War. I was a girl, like 6 years old, 5.5 years old, and we lived in a house. It was uphill. Downhill was Mea Shearim, and we was uphill. And I remember all the street people danced together, men and women, girls and old people, and soldiers and a Turei Karta Satmar Chassidim. We danced all together. And I remember the feeling. It was so sweet and so nice to feel that we are one big, strong nation and we love each other so strong, like brothers,
It's
even
beautiful.
more than brothers, because every Jew in the world feel this feeling like we are brothers and we love. We really was in a big, big love. And I remember one of the soldiers took me on his shelves. How you say it?
Shoulders. The shoulders
Yeah. No, the soldier took me on his
on his
shoulder,
shoulders.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he danced with me.
Wow.
I was a very young girl. And then one of the Neturei Karta, one of the Satmar Chassidim, took him on his
Wow.
shoulder, and I was in the third floor. So I remember myself, I look all around the street, and we danced together. We cried
It's
together. We hugged each other, and no one think who is Dati, who is Frum, who is Haredi, who is religious, who is not, who is secular. We didn't even think about this
So, Tzili,
because
let me
we
just give a
just
little background to my listeners. The 6 Day War, for those of you who don't know, and I know most of you know, is when Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria and the Sinai and the Golan are liberated from all kinds of different occupations. So, Tzili is a girl in Jerusalem when Jerusalem is divided, when we don't, up until that point, we don't have access to the Western Wall, to the Kotel, to the Old City, to our holy sites. And the
I
image that
used
I'm
to live
now
very, very close to the border.
the ceasefire
The
line,
war was
yes,
right near my house.
unbelievable. But what she's describing and the nuances of what she's describing are different groups now of Jews who aren't necessarily considered big Zionists. Neturei Karta, many of you might know, are some of the Jews who are now marching for a Palestinian state and against Israel. But at this unbelievable moment, this really miraculous moment in June of 1967, she's describing tremendous unity and an understanding among all Jews that we're together and this happened to all of us and how special it was. That must have been really an amazing, amazing instance in your life. I could still see on you, on your face, how it really made such an impact on you on such a young age to be all together like that.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. So, and I thought with myself, why we feel so one and so strong when we are one? What make us to be one? I don't think all the American can be one forever. Never. It will never forever will not be. Why we want and can be one? Because we have the same history, the same מלחמת הישרדות, survive
The same
war,
war
the same,
survival.
the same anti-Semitism around the world, the same Torah mitzvot, the same belong to our
Right.
heritage, the same אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, יציאת מצרים
The
and מתן תורה.
forefathers, the major stories are ones that we all share, no matter how we worship now. We all
And
left
what
Egypt together. We all were at Sinai, got the covenant together. And those are very big things that you should unite all Jews. Yes.
and what we have more than it, we have all of us, even in Teman or in Morocco
Yemen.
or in Germany or in America or in Russia, we have 2000 years the same dream to come back to this holy land that is belong to us. So with this strong dream, we can feel that we are one because it's really make us to be one. And
Right.
even when we want to divide, and even when we try to separate, to make separate, like to divide to two nations, it will not be never, never forever, because we are really, really one big
Right.
nation. Not big, but one nation.
Right.
Okay, you
So
want to
now
explain?
I'm understanding the background of why you started an organization about Jewish unity. Once you grew
Right,
up and became
right.
a
When I grew
mother,
up,
and yeah.
yeah, when I grew up and I saw that something happened in Israel, in the atmosphere of Israel, in the society in Israel, that we're going more and more to divide for two nations. And I saw like a big, heavy wall uh, coming between us, like to make us two nations. And I understand that it can't be, because if we was 2,000 years one nation, even without WhatsApp, without media, without even telephone to speak each
Right.
other, not the same language, not the same culture, not the same food, and not the same, and we felt like one all these 2,000 years. So it can't be that when we come after these 2,000 years here in Israel, we will divide here. It
Right.
can't be.
That the
If
ingathering of the exiles in our eternal homeland, now we should start to fall apart. Yeah, the unity. Right.
So we have to feel one. And then I understood that if we not feel one, it's not because of the people, because Am Israel still in love each other. So I feel that if we not feel anymore one big nation, it's not coming from the people. It's
Mm-hmm.
coming from the political people. It's coming from people, they want to take their interesים from this story. They
Mm-hmm.
want to להרוויח, איך אומרים?
To benefit.
To benefit with from our fighting, so they try to make it, but it's not us, it's not the
Mm-hmm.
Jewish people, because the Jewish people love each other. And more than it, I can tell you that we see today that a lot of big problems, conflicts coming between the Haredim and the Chilonim, let's say about Chok HaGiyus, right?
About
The
army
army, the
service.
story with the
Right.
army, like this. And you can see in my organization, when the people sit one by one, Chiloni, secular, and Haredi, very religious people, when they sit together with love, with friendship, okay, they can create a solution of all those problems. It will not come, the solution will not come, not from the government, not from the army, not from the court. It will
Mm-hmm.
come from the people. When they sit together and speak face by face,
Yeah.
heart by heart, close, connection, friendly, when they talk each other, they will create and they will find the solution, and it will be okay. Just let them to be good and close friends.
So how do you
Okay,
get
so
people together?
this is the my goal is that every Haredi, every from religious person will have one strong good friend from the other side, from the secular. And
Mm-hmm.
every secular will have one, like in the army, in the business, will have one strong friend from the Haredi side. And
Okay.
they have to put effort in the connection, in the Kesher, because I call it Kesher Yehudi. They have to put all their Judaism in the connection. And the Judaism will be the main thing of the connection. This will hold all the connection, because they are very strange people. They don't know each other, and when they will know each other deep inside, and they can look at the beauty. Every side can see the beauty of the other side. So all the atmosphere in Eretz Israel will be changed. It will be
Okay.
different. We can be much more we will have much more nice and beauty society here in Eretz Israel, and all the fight will be in the side. We can put it on
Okay.
the side.
So
how
tell
I
us
can
how you do
how I
this.
can find
This is
okay
a
how I
big
find
job.
it. Today it's not a big deal because we work already on it about 14 years, close to 14 years. So today people say everyone that is involved wants to join his friend, his brothers, his sisters, his neighbors, okay? Both sides, right? So today is not a big kunz. But when we started, I was very surprised. I have to tell you, I was very surprised. First from Rabbonim. I am going with all Gdolei Israel, with all the big Rabbonim in
The
Eretz Israel.
sages. Mm-hmm.
The biggest one was Reb Eliashiv Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and Aaron Leib Steinman. They was both more than with me. They
Mm-hmm.
pushed me. And they said, yes, this is what Am Israel need today. And they gave me all the powerful and all the koach to do it, right?
Right.
To be strong
All
and
the
to do it.
strength. Mm-hmm.
And all the Bnei Torah, all the Haredim, all the Hasidim, all the Rabbonim and the Rebbes are, איך אומרים, in my back, איך
They had your
אומרים,
back. They
מאחוריי.
supported you.
They,
Right.
yeah, they told me they believe this is the biggest need what Am Israel need now. So, um, to join Haredim, it's very easy because the Haredim got education, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, it's the biggest thing, and we have to be friends with everyone that is Jewish. The only problem was that I was afraid that people say, oh, I'm afraid to bring non-religious people to my house because I don't want my kid will see non-religious, מחללי Shabbat, not
Right.
sneers, all these kind of things. But I was very surprised that they didn't say it. They say it's my zechus to have
My
non-religious people
privilege.
in my Shabbos
Right.
table.
Even if they're not
And
dressed so modestly, and even if,
I want to tell
it's,
you,
yeah,
I believe I'm very religious. And I believe that every Jew person has neshama Yehudit,
as a
a
Jewish
Jewish
soul.
soul, and every Jewish person is connect direct to Hashem, to God. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it. So why they not keep Shabbos and they yes? This is dependent by the people because everyone has free choice to choose
Right.
how he
Right.
wants. But we all connect to the same God, to the same Holy Soul, to the
Right.
same Matan Torah. So we are all connect. So there is no difference. And also another surprise was when we host not religious people in my house, in my Shabbos table, they want to respect me. And they ask me, you want me, should I dress more tznius?
More
And
modestly.
they will not put the telephone on the Shabbos table. No, they will not
Mm-hmm.
do it. They
Right. So they
understand very
respect the
well how,
atmosphere of a Shabbat without
yeah, yeah, yeah.
electronics and the
Yeah,
beauty of
because
Shabbat.
like I told you, because in the basic of our relationship is a big, big, strong love.
But how
So
do you
if I
find the
come,
people? How did you have this organization find it? I understand the impetus behind it and all those beautiful ideas.
which side you speak
Well,
about
you
the
said,
Chiloni?
so you said you live in the Orthodox world, the rabbis were behind you. So I imagine you had, that reservoir of people. But how did you actually form the organization where you found people from a different sector of Israeli society who were willing to come together? And I understand that you just had a Shabbat last
You
week
have to know that
with
there's
many people.
the secular, they are living in the media, in the social media. So it's not
Ah,
hard to find
so
them.
that's
They have
wonderful.
WhatsApp, they have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have all these kind of
And
things.
you invite
And I,
people and they answer. That's amazing.
yeah, yeah, invite people. Let's take another one friend from the other side and put effort in the relationship and be good friend, and you will help not only yourself, you will help you will help him, and you help Am Israel to
To
be
build to
stronger.
help the people to unite and right, because
It's
there are
help
many
our
cynical
nation.
well there are many cynical people out there who are trying to take advantage of the differences between us and foment, dislike and hatred and do the opposite of what it is that you're doing, which is pretty incredible.
The more privilege what we have from this project is the Haredi society understand to appreciate all the
Beautiful.
soldiers. They are going to be Moser Nefesh in the army. And the
Right.
army boys become
Right.
so appreciate the yeshiva bochrim. The
They want
boys,
to
they are
learn
going to learn
Torah all
Torah
day.
because they keep our soul, they keep our heritage. Without our Judaism, we don't need our land.
So
If
I
we are
want to
going
I
to
want to
be,
ask you something, Tzili, because you mentioned people who are I don't like the word secular so much, but let's just use that. People who don't necessarily keep Shabbat or keep the kosher laws and the ultra-Orthodox. What about the people in the middle, like myself, for example, right? The people who are also Torah
oh,
observant,
this
but
is the
also
biggest
involved
question.
more in, day-to-day life, serving the army, etc. Is that part of your organization as well? Or you're going for
Not,
people more on
not
the
now,
edges?
and I will tell you honestly, I think we need to put our effort in the two extreme side. The middle will be okay by itself. The middle is not far, not from this side and not from this side. So they don't need my help. But to put the two extreme side together, this is much more,
Challenging.
will be effective.
Challenging and important.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. This
Mm,
will be much more effective to the future of Am Israel. And we work dafka specific on the two extreme side. We're not taking the Haredi, the more cool Haredi, more modern Haredi. We take only the mainstream, the hard core from the
right.
Haredi side. And we take the hardcore, the mainstream of the Chiloni Tel Avivi side.
Right.
Okay? And this is
Right.
the great thing. Because if they can be together, so all the other can be together. You
You're
understand?
starting off with the hardest way to do it.
Yeah. So I want to tell you, I thought about this organization much before the October 7, but after October 7, we don't have any question anymore because everyone understands that now that our enemies, oivim,
Yeah, enemies, right?
is not from inside.
Yeah.
We are inside, we are in love, and our enemies is outside
Hmm.
and from us, and they don't have to be our teachers to teach us that we are one. We
Yeah.
don't need them to explain us that we are one nation. We don't need them to explain us that when we are not in a unity situation, we cannot win. We don't need
Right.
them. We need ourselves to explain ourselves that we need to be in
Right.
in big unity.
So tell
Okay?
me about the
So
Shabbats that you just had.
So I
So
want
yeah,
to tell you from October 7, from October 7, it's unbelievable. People calling me like we have
really.
every month we make like usually normally we make like 100 couples every month.
Wow.
Okay? It's mean 200 people join us every month. But from the war, it's multiply four. It's almost 400 couples, new couples every month.
You mean when
And
you say
our
couples, it's not from air. It's someone
not
from
married, I mean secular and
right,
Haredi,
right. New
religious and not
friendships.
religious,
New
okay?
friendships. Right.
Let's
Right.
say, yeah, Haredi and not Haredi, okay?
Right. Right.
So so it's more than multiply four. It's
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. And I really feel that I can do it because it so many people call me. Let's say about you asked me about the Shabbaton, but I want to tell you before the Shabbaton, I saw the families of the hostages screaming on the media, we need
Right.
unity. And I decided to go to hug them, to say them that even I am from Mea Sheorim, I really love them, and I really feel them, and I really with them בצער and בכאב,
Right.
and I
She's
cried.
hurting and weeping with them.
So I went to
Yeah.
Tel Aviv. In the first evening, I become very close friends with some of them. And then I decide to go also to the Ohel, איך אומרים? אוהל,
The
מי
the
בבנימין
tent.
נתניהו house. in
Right.
Yerushalayim.
There's a
They
there's
make
a
it, yeah,
tent near the prime minister's house where people demonstrate all the time against him.
right. So I went there, and it was for me a shock because I came into the tent and they hugged me. And from the war, I thought maybe now what shall I answer if they will ask me why my son is not going to the army? What shall I answer? So maybe they don't want me because my son is not in the army. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they are angry with me. Okay? And I went with this thought to the tent. And in the first step, I came into the tent, they hug me. They want to thank me. We thank you that you come to us, that you come to share with us our ke'ev, our
Or
tears,
pain.
our
Mm-hmm.
tefillot. And then we start to talk. And I said, you know what I think? You try so much to go to Washington, to Berlin, to the media, to interview, to tzedot, to Afghanot.
Marches and
Yeah,
demonstrations. Yeah.
yeah. And I want to give you another advice. Let's try to do together something ruchani, mitzvah,
Spiritual.
big, big
Mm-hmm.
mitzvah together. They ask me what can be the one. I said, let's try to keep Shabbat together. Shabbat kahalacha, like with all the laws. Is
Right.
it possible? It take 1 second to think, and they answered together. 7 families was there. They said together, yes, we really want it. So, wow. And it was Wednesday afternoon. It was Wednesday afternoon. I said, okay, it will not be this coming Shabbos because we have to arrange big
Right.
hotel.
There's not enough
We have to
time.
we have to give invitation to every one of the hostages he wants to come. So they said, oh, so you pushed us to another Shabbat, but we want to do it this Shabbat.
They didn't want to wait.
Yeah. So at the end, we make it in the next Shabbat, not on the first Shabbat.
Right.
We make it in Malon Waldo Astoria,
Oh, that's one of the
56 people.
nicest hotels in Jerusalem.
The nicest one because they want very, very kosher hotel. Because if they want to keep Shabbat seriously with all the details, I want to make it as kosher as I can.
So you
So I
had
took the
people, you
kosher
had
one.
donation. Where are your donations from, if I can ask? I
Yeah,
imagine
people
you
donate me.
from both
People,
sides,
oh,
from all
this,
different.
by the way, I want to tell you that this is gave me the understood, the Lavin to understand
Understand?
how much the Jewish people, they are really one. People from America, from Satmar, not religious, from Israel, not religious people, donate me
Everybody.
and they cover all this Shabbaton. It was
Wow.
very expensive Shabbaton. I think it was $120,000
Wow.
this
Wow.
Shabbaton.
So you
It was
obviously,
about,
there's a need out there that you tapped into, that people were
but
willing
what
to.
happened on this
to.
Shabbaton, I brought also few Haredim families to be together, to make Shabbaton together, not religious and religious, and together to pray together to Hashem. Please bring them home. I remember that I asked them in the tent, who you say in your T-shirt, bring them home now. Who can bring them home?
Yeah.
Who can bring them? Bibi can bring them. I think even Sinwar cannot bring them. Only one can do it, is Hashem. And they trust it. They believe it like me. Like me,
Mm-hmm.
even they look very different. They have the same emunah like me. So we understood that Hashem can do it. And we came together, we make Shabbat like holy, holy, with Rabbonim, with speakers, with Datiim, Chiloniim, with all of them. It was such a nice holy Shabbat. And the unity was so strong. Like we became all these 65 families. It was about 52, 53 not religious, and another 13, 14 religious. And we became one family till today. We still
Incredible.
feel like one family. And from this Shabbat, we became more and more uh, like
Free.
free to go to the Chilonim to say we are one. We are one. I'm not afraid anymore to say them. I feel one with you, and they feel one with me. And we know one thing very strong, that we are Jewish, and our enemies doesn't care if I wear kippah, if I keep Shabbat. I am not
Right.
keeping. They don't care about it. They care that I am Jew, and I
Yeah,
love
well,
Eretz
we saw
Israel.
that on October 7th. Even the biggest
Yes.
peace activists and the ones who did everything for the so-called Palestinians, they were the first ones who were killed. And they knew exactly who they
So
were.
now
Yeah.
all these hostages families help me with my project to take their tragedy and to take it to the unity side, like to make they now. You ask me how I get so many Chiloniim. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the answer. Today, the hostages families, everyone has Facebook and everyone have Instagram, and they call people,
Mm-hmm.
please join our revolution. Please join to Kesher Yehudi revolution. We want to be one. Just sign yourself to take Chavrusa from the other side. And
Right.
it's hysterical. People coming and coming and coming. And then I can tell you about, we make after this Shabbaton to the hostages. The other hostages families call me. They said, why not we? We want also. So we make another Shabbaton. Then we make for them Sudat Purim together with the Haredim.
All the
Then we make
holidays,
for them Leila Seder together with Chilonim, with the
the
Haredim. Then we
Passover
make
Seder.
Erev
Mm-hmm.
Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Tfilah Gdola Bakotel, a lot of Haredim,
Every
a lot of
occasion.
Chilonim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we become like a new revolution, like a movement. We want to feel one. We want to, and not only to say in the sign, ביחד ננצח. It's
Right.
nothing. Just to say it, it's nothing. We do
That
it. And
together
we
we
can
will
teach
win.
everyone
Right.
how to do it. Just take one strong friend from the other side, speak with him about your מכנה משותף, about your Judaism,
The
about
common camp that we have.
and be
Mm-hmm.
good friend with him like brother. And if you and I and you and you and you will do it, we will have another nation,
Wow.
strong nation. Okay, so
Amazing.
this take me to tell you about the last Shabbaton. It was this Shabbat. So we decide that there is people from the Novas. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, okay. So we decide there is close to 4,000 people. They survived from the Nova Festival, and they was very not religious because the party was on Shabbat Kodesh, on Simchat Torah, right?
Mm-hmm.
In very holy day. And they're Jewish, and I believe that Hashem touch every one of them, and Hashem save every one of them because He wants them to feel they are Jewish. And we went to this group of WhatsApp group of the Nova survivors, and because we knew already that Am Israel really in strong love, and Am Israel wants to do, every one of us wants to do as much as he can for the hostages. So I
Mm-hmm.
called these survivors from the Nova Festival, and I said, I want to make Shabbaton in Metzudat David hotel.
In the
Very
Hotel
nice.
Jerusalem, David Citadel. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice hotel. Not less than the other one.
Right.
And I said, I want to make a big Shabbaton with you, and we will try to keep one Shabbat kahalacha,
Mm-hmm.
like with all, no telephone, no cigarettes, no electronic things,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And this will be our present for the hostages.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told people about my dream, people think I'm crazy. No one will come. No one will do it. They can't keep Shabbat. They are very addicted
Mm-hmm.
to cigarettes. And I tried. I went to America and I told this dream to my good friend in my organization. Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name. And he
Okay,
said,
so don't.
"Yes, I am with you. I will pay for it. Just bring me the people." I came back to Eretz Israel. I just put Azmana in invitation
Invitation.
in the WhatsApp group. After 38 hours, something like this, 36 hours, it was booked. I have
Wow.
to close the list.
Well,
And I said, if you're coming, you have to keep Shabbat seriously because this is the Shabbaton. It's for the people from the Nova survivors. They want to keep one Shabbat in their life for the hostages. And we have, on Shabbat, we have 160 survivors from the Nova. And
wow.
to look at them, they keep Shabbat with such a big Mesirus Nefesh
Mm-hmm.
because
Was big
know
effort. Right.
they know that this is the biggest present to the hostages, and this can help the hostages, and this can make a big voice in the himmel, in the shamayim, איך אומרים, in the
In
sky,
the heavens, in the heavens.
in the
Yes.
heaven. And I saw people like 3 o'clock afternoon, Friday, not Friday, Shabbat afternoon, 3 o'clock afternoon. I saw people, they want to climb on the wall
Yeah.
because they have to hold themselves without the cigarettes, right?
Oh, it's hard for them.
And they win it. And they win it. And they sung all the Shabbat. We are Jewish. We love
That's
Hashem. We
beautiful.
love our Judaism. עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל אחד. עם ישראל לא מפחד ללכת
Jewish
דרך
people are
ארוכה.
one. We're not afraid of the long
Yeah. And
journey.
we also invite about 20 room families because we really want to give the feeling that we make Shabbaton together
Right.
and we are one. And after Shabbat, in the end of Shabbat, we ask all of them who wants to be a part from our project, Chavrusa program, right?
Right. Right.
So from 160 people till now, we have 113 people
Wow.
from the Chiloni side.
Majority.
They join our project and they beg me, bring me Chavruse. And we
Right.
work 3 or 4 days around the clock just to give everyone to be in Chavruse. So I really think that Am Israel is one, and I really think that we can find the solution how to make Am Israel one. This is the solution. If everyone will be a good friend with the other side, one of the big,
See,
instead of his benefit,
I have to ask
Am
you
Israel will have,
something. Is your
okay,
mother still living?
no, 25 years ago, she passed
But
away.
I think the legacy that she left is something that she would be very proud of. It's in you, and everybody can hear it, and it obviously has shaped your life. And that's a
I want
beautiful
to tell
thing.
you about it. I told you that the people in the Shabbat, Nova Shabbat, the
Mm-hmm.
people in the Nova Shabbat make a big voice in the heaven, right?
Right?
So I'm sure that my mother from the heaven
She heard.
has a big nachat from this Shabbat,
Right.
not only
Taking
me,
a
from
lot
Am
of
Israel.
joy and pride from what you're
Yes,
doing. It's bigger
yes.
than just one person. It really is.
But I want to tell all Am Israel that they hear me. I want to tell them, don't believe the כותרת, איך אומרים את
The
הכותרת?
headlines. The
There
headlines.
is no such a thing חרדי, חילוני, אמריקאי, ישראלי, ספרדי,
Don't fall into the labels.
אשכנזי. There
Right.
is only one word, Yehudi. And we are
Yes.
all one. And
Tzili,
when we know it, Mashiach will come, and we can feel like one. And please, who can hear me? Don't let anyone to explain you that we are not one, because it's a lie. It's the biggest
okay.
lie. Be'et Sarah, we feel one.
Right. When things
So
are
let's be
difficult, we
Be'et Simcha
understand.
one.
So we
Okay?
shouldn't just wait for difficult times to feel the unity. We should also have it in the good times, which, please God, will happen very soon. Tzili Schneider, thank you so much for joining me here on Rejuvenation, for sharing your words, really of tremendous inspiration. And I'm sure that all my
Thank you.
listeners appreciated it and needed to hear it, because sometimes we catch on to being demoralized and down, and we do listen to the negative. And what you're saying right now is so incredibly important. So continue with really your holy work and with everything that you do, and really to change Israeli society and
And
understand that we are
everyone
one,
can go into the web, in the Kesher Yehudi website,
and see
and
what
join
you're
us.
up to. Fabulous. Thank you so, so much. Everyone, that was Tzili Schneider, Eve Harow, Rejuvenation on the Land of Israel Network. Next week, I will be broadcasting from the United States. I'm leaving on Saturday night. There are a couple of One Israel Fun barbecues next week. I'm going to be a scholar in residence at the Great Neck Synagogue, in Great Neck, obviously. The Shabbat after, then I'll be in Aspen, Colorado to speak. So you can write to me. I still have a couple free days here and there, and maybe we can get together. In the meantime, wherever you are, take care, everyone. Wishing a speedy return of all the hostages in physical and mental and spiritual health, and a refuah shlema, full recovery to all of our soldiers, and that all the ones who are still fighting be able to come home safely, and that everyone will see the just war that we're fighting and the evil that is up against us, and we will all be together. And may the good times roll very soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks to Ben and to Tabitha and to all of you. And goodbye.
Thank you for the
For now.
opportunity.
My pleasure, Tzili. Mamash. Yasher kocher.
Bye.
Bye-bye.